All right, I'm gonna do this again. I just made this video, and made the mistake of recording it on TikTok, and TikTok is evil. So of course they wouldn't want message to get out, or it's not from me at least. That's for sure. Not by anybody. Now here it is. Um, this is what no one's told you probably, and I had to figure out for myself. Um, what do you think it means to accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior? Because I can promise you, it's not what you think. And so, who was Jesus? You can't accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior if you don't even know who he was, like, and what he did, and what he was like, what that means, right? For you to accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior would mean that you would have to understand who he is. And Jesus Christ, who Jesus is, and who he is, not was, who Jesus is a personality that's made up of values that build or that make up his character, the spirit of Jesus Christ. So his values are the same as my values, or the same as anybody's values, whether they realize that that's what they value or not. So the simplest way to put it, and the way to be born again in the Spirit, if you look inside, if you really came around by searching. And by the way, if you didn't know God was real, you wouldn't even know if that was true. You wouldn't know how to know if it was true that Jesus Christ, that any of that's true. And you could try to accept Jesus Christ as the Lord and Savior, that he died on the cross for their sins, but they wouldn't even really be able to commit to that, and to actually allow it to really happen, and for it to really be true and be effective, because they wouldn't understand. They definitely wouldn't be thinking of it like this. They wouldn't know who Jesus was, and they wouldn't have beginning. Even for somebody like me, I've just come around to the simple and to the true understanding of what being born again is, and nobody has ever explained it to me at all. And I had to figure this out, and I'm not even sure if anybody else actually really has put it in these terms, or really understands it this way, or even understands, if that's the case, that they probably don't really even understand it themselves. Because I know I didn't, and even now, I haven't completely come around to it. It takes like a digestion, or a downloading. Okay, and here's what it is right here. The values that Jesus Christ has are just values, human values, he's not. They're not burdened with anything, with any impurities, with anything that isn't just purely those values, all of them, without anything else that's not valuable to you or to me. And you might not realize that none of these things are valuable, like this, that, or anything. Nothing. That isn't just what is really valuable, really important. And you can see that nobody really knows that, or knows what they are, because look at the way state of the world. If they did, then they would know that it's what the point is for you to choose to look at all the things that you might think are valuable, and then consciously decide and consciously make up your mind and choose to acknowledge that when it's not truly valuable. Like, that can't be it. Like, that's not valuable. That ain't gonna be it. And when it is gonna be. What they are gonna be. When you think about it, things like emotion, like thoughts that trigger, like thinking about certain things, and the meaning of the word forgiveness, and the meaning of the meaning of forgiveness, the meaning of love, the meaning of kindness, of compassion, of caring. All the things that Jesus, if you think about it, he would have been valuing. He would have been focused on, locked in on, like concentrating on, and not making time, not wasting time and taking up space and making time and space for anything else and being distracted by anything else, because that's less valuable no matter what. Less valuable. So why would he ever, your consciousness can't be on more than one thing at a time. So if it's not any of the things that are truly valuable in the heart of God, then you must not understand this at all, even if it's like the littlest thing. So you don't understand that's you and me that's not even really me as much anymore. If anything, it still is me to a small degree. But I'm telling you this now, which shows you that we need to. The point is that we need to focus on and meditate, or not meditate, but just focus and search around and come to understand what all the things that aren't valuable and that we know are just not valuable, or they can't be valuable. They're not really valuable. Like things you think are, like a video game, it's fun. You think that that's valuable, or your car, and all these things that seem valuable, but they're all distractions. Profoundly, they're really not valuable at all, because they don't stop things from. They don't allow you to come around to what is valuable. In order to focus on those things until you become familiar with them. So by sorting out all the things that you know it's not going to be, just by thinking about it, you know it's not going to be that. It's not your car. It's not this. It's not that. It's not anything that it's not. And you're going to know. You should know. You should already know that when you're consciously mature, as a mature adult, deciding what it's not, anything that you know it's not, that's not it. That's just a deception. It's a distraction. So eliminate that. Get it all out of your way and clear it all out till there's nothing. You're not focused on anything. You have nothing but available space and time to come around to what you know has to be what they are, the things that are truly valuable and that will always be valuable and will never become unvaluable. So now that you have time and space to focus and identify what they all are, then you can really focus on those things only, because first of all, and don't think that that's like you're missing out on anything, because for you to focus on anything that isn't valuable or just valuable in your mind, but really not, would be for you to be focusing on anything else that's not as valuable, which you'll come to find out and realize to you. And not only you, but for you to not be focused on what's valuable to you we're responsible, because what's valuable to us is valuable to everybody. So for us to not come around and focus on what's valuable to us is because that is what causes war. That's the reason for wars and stuff, because obviously they're not valuing what's valuable. They're valuing things that aren't valuable, thinking that they're valuable. And so you have a responsibility to the world and to everyone else and to everyone and to God, and not just yourself, but at the very least yourself. You have responsibility to everyone else to find out what's really valuable and stop wasting your time and your space and on things that aren't valuable. And by allowing, and if you're in here and you're hearing people arguing with each other or talking about anything that's just not just, you know, it's not as valuable.